Hello and welcome to EmpowHer. I am Becky Bernard. Welcome to the show.
My name is Eunice Thomas. So good to have you. Please stick around.
I am Dara Odoma. Every woman should be empowered. Welcome to EmpowHer on Spectrum Television.
Exactly. Every woman should be empowered. And empowerment starts with educating the girl child on self-awareness early enough.
Okay.
You're welcome to the show. So today, you guys are looking...
Yeah, I want to see
very
that.
hot.
You look absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, you too. I like that.
I love your outfit.
Thank you, absolutely.
Oh, girls, I'm so proud.
Okay, so today on the show we'll be talking about taking a look at some beautiful women in the society who has contributed
And has carved a niche for
and then
themselves.
who have showed us what it means to be empowered. So we'll start with Chatham.
Okay.
Yeah, Chatham is a segment where we get to see some beautiful women in the society who have been able to impact lives, who have been able to not just create a niche for themselves, who have been able to show other people what it means to be empowered. So the first on the show, who's taking it?
Yeah. Okay. Our first charter on this segment is an 87-year-old woman who actually found love in the arms of a 25-year-old boy from Kenya.
Oh, wow.
I mean, she said this young boy, is old enough to be her grandson.
But that's correct.
Oh, well.
Anyway,
and people are like, why would, an 85-year-old woman do with a boy that is, way younger than...
Well, the question right now, no, let me jump right in because I don't really think it's about age-wise. If she finds love in this person, really, whose business is it? Because the people talking, who are they loving?
Oh, welcome, Becky. Welcome to Africa. I am talking, from the African perspective. This is, an 85-year-old woman we're talking about, who's got children, who's got grandsons and daughters. And then you cannot see someone in your age bracket, in your age range. The only person you can see here is a boy of 25 years.
Let me make you understand
Wait.
something.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. We are talking about an empowered woman. An empowered woman is a bold woman. If she's bold enough to come out and say, I found love with a 25-year-old man, I don't think there's any problem with that. Do you understand? There's no problem with that because, she has the right.
Oh, no.
Okay, so what happens to young people that...
I disagree.
Like,
I don't disagree. And they're about to walk down the aisle. That is very beautiful.
Okay, now let me make it straight. In Nigeria, we have this mentality that everything should go in this sync.
A smooth way.
In this sync. Who made the rules? Who made the rules about love? No, really, who made the rules?
You have a point
If
there.
if someone finds love, I don't care the age. The people should learn to keep their opinion to themselves because really, there's people actually coming out to talk about this woman finding love in a 25-year-old. Allow me to add, in a 25-year-old boy. Secretly are having sugar daddies and they're calling it zaddy. And how old is the person? In fact, they are actually falling in love with someone that is as old as their father.
Or grandfather.
But they are not blowing the whistle,
Maybe if I was to be the mother of that child, I would never allow my 25-year-old son to fall in love with a woman of 85. Come to think of it, what are we talking about?
Wait, let me ask you.
Love. Oh my goodness, that's not love. That's
Let me ask you a question. Are you very much aware that this person is old enough to take decisions on his own?
At 25,
are you calm down, darling? Are you also aware that his mental health is at stake if you disagree?
Girls, you fall in love, it's your business. Whoever you decide to fall in love with is entirely your business. So make the choice.
Congratulations to the 85-year-old.
Congratulations to that Kenyan woman.
It doesn't make any difference.
I know.
Come on.
All right. Still on the show, for the second chapter, we will be talking. Oh well, this is not really exciting. A doctor narrates how some hospitals, inject women with pregnancy hormones and then lie to them that they are pregnant. Now, that's why we're talking about empowerment here. Because if you know what it means to go for antenatal, or maybe you are an expectant mother, you haven't gotten pregnant before, you have seen people who have been through that very journey. You've read books, you've watched movies. So how do you go to the hospital and then you want to run a test and they're injecting you? You have the right to know what injection it is they're administering to you. Do you understand?
That is why we're talking about women being empowered. Because if you're educated, if you're this this kind of a learned person, you should know, okay, for instance, if I'm not praying to get ill or something, well, I should know what you're coming to administer to me, what you're administering to me. I have to know. So that's why we have to learn. We have to read. We have to ask questions. A lot of people do not ask questions. No. I mean, why would someone? Oh God.
That leads me back. I just remembered something. Now, how will this not inform some people who call themselves doctors to come up with that kind of such thing that you're talking about, to induce it on women to have hormones that make
pregnancy hormones.
So they come up with bloated stomach, like they're not pregnant, but their stomach is already bloated, and who are you deceiving?
Baby, I bet to come from a different perspective.
That is why women should be empowered. Like we always say, we are still drumming it. Women should be empowered. And the empowerment starts with educating the girl child first. No. Because if she knows from the root what should be her right or what she should actually do, nobody should administer any medication or any injection to someone without telling you, this is exactly what I'm injecting. And this is what is going to, this is how you're going to feel like.
Now we are talking about a doctor lying to a woman that you are pregnant. Now the problem starts.
They are supposed to be professionals. Okay. I mean, before you're being sworn in as a medical doctor, you take your oath of office and you're like promising, "Hi, I am Dara. I will do this." But I mean, why would you go on the contrary to administer drugs to something?
I don't think you get what I'm saying. Now the problem here is from the women themselves. This is why you should be informed. Do you understand? So you go to the hospital and they are trying to administer something you don't know. You have the right to ask a question. Please, can I know the name? Because anything could happen. You could relocate or something and then they get to ask you about your medical history and you don't have anything to present. And then you should know what drugs works for you. Personally, anything that has to do with queens or lean, asthmaline, and anything like that, it doesn't go for me. Or chloroquine, anything queen doesn't go for me. Now, if I go to the hospital and I go for a test and then they prescribe some medications for me and I see any of that, I have the right to tell them that, okay, I react to these drugs. And then they will substitute it with something else. Do you understand? Now, women should get empowered. Know what works for you. It is not enough that you are not a doctor. You should know little about everything. Just know.
It is believed and perceived that every young person, as far as you've come of age and you understand your left and right, you should be able to, personally have a doctor, a personal doctor. Yes, your lawyer.
A lawyer.
Yeah. An empowered woman is, informed. We are still drumming it. Get education. Get informed, both formally and informally. Don't just go for anything because it's trending doesn't mean that it's right. And,
all right.
Because before I get emotional right now, let's get to the next chat with Linda Okoje. That's her name. Her name is Linda Okoje, a young, beautiful lady that is 25 years old, and she's the current Miss ECOWAS. Now, this young lady goes around schools, to educate young children about themselves as a woman, in fact, to empower them as young girls, to become better in the society, and then goes ahead to empower them. How? Let's say recently we've had testimonies of young people coming out to say, "Oh, thank you, Linda, for giving me the 5,000 naira to be able to get my jam form. Oh, I'm getting ready for the exams." Now that is a very good testimony. One more thing. Okay. She shared a story about herself.
Yeah,
she shared a story about herself that people used to abuse her for hawking. She hawks. That's what the mother sells. I think a cara or something.
It was Zobo.
Okay, Zobo drink, and then she hawks. She goes around, to hawk the Zobo drink. And people were looking down on her. But now she gets to meet a young child who couldn't help the mother, just because of school, and then she empowered the young child to go help the mother. go ahead and hawk. She's not condemning the fact that you're hawking. It's not a crime. It's not a sin.
It
The
is
fact you've gone
not.
to school, it's not during school hours. That's when it's a crime. But after school hours, you're permitted to help your mother.
Becky,
You're
whatever
permitted to
you
help your
do that
parents
is
at home.
legally, that brings food to your table, I see nothing wrong with it, in as much as it is legal.
That's
You're
right.
doing this and you know, okay, what I'm doing is right. I mean, just go ahead
And then for Linda, I don't know why, for some reasons, I love talking about process a whole lot. All right. Now look at it now. She started selling Zobo.
That's right.
She had her dreams. She had already discovered herself that she loves pageantry and she would
Yeah,
love to go into
that's
it.
right.
Now, aside from just selling Zobo, she started going for pageantries that were organized, auditions that were organized locally. Now it is not wrong to start locally, but aim globally.
That's right.
You understand?
That's
Now the problem with us is inconsistency. You just want to start a thing,
That's
and it's
true.
not bringing in so much money to your table, so you're not interested. You just
quit.
want to, you just quit,
Just quit.
and that is not it. You need to understand the power of process, the power of consistency. Now imagine that from going to these auditions locally, she
might have faced some fears,
of
challenges.
course she faced a lot of challenges, and then you agree with me that she lost out in some of the pageantries, and now she's Miss ECOWAS. Do you know what that means? And not
That's
just
not
that,
little
she's
phenomenon.
empowering other young
girls,
women, other young girls.
To add to that story, what we should, take out from there is we have to be patient with ourselves.
That's right.
A
Patient with
lot of
time.
women are not really. You're so much in a hurry. There's nothing to worry about.
Now, what I got from her story is the faith she has and the beliefs she has in herself. She believed so much in herself, and that also empowered her to believe in other people. That if I can come to this, to this stand, you too can. And then she goes a long way. She is not so much big, like a big token, as little as 5,000 naira is.
That's a lot, Becky.
It's not really little,
That
but
is
that's
a
a
lot,
lot.
girl.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a lot for now.
For someone that doesn't
She
have
goes
anything.
all out. In fact, I've seen pictures of her going to the streets. She saw a pregnant woman. I think she was hawking water.
Yeah.
And then she told people, come on, come take the water. And the woman was like, how? Everybody came out and just, got the water, and she paid the woman. The woman knelt down and was crying. She was so happy. She said, I'll go home. You're already heavy. Don't carry anything anymore,
That's really
So this is an example of an empowered woman. So be an empowered woman out there.
Of course, you have to be empowered.
That's right. So we take a short break, and when we return, EmpowHer continues. Just stay with us.
You're welcome back from the break. It's still EmpowHer, reaching you from the beautiful hills of Ibiakoran. All right, so if you want to join the chit chat that we had earlier before the break, you can join us on all our social media handles at SpectrumTv.ng. So right now, we'll just dive right into the business of the day.
That's right.
All right, so we will be discussing about women's participation in politics, how women should be given a voice to be heard, how they should be treated equally, during last month was like Women's Month, and then we talked about breaking the bias. How do we break this bias? How do women participate? What are some of the challenges in politics as a woman? What are the challenges they face in politics? So Becky, what do you have to say about
Yeah,
that?
I'm already itching to say something because for women. So women, kudos to
Yes,
that.
congratulations.
I'm already dancing. Are you saying congratulations to yourself? So hug yourself. Give yourself a hug. Yeah, because we've been given the opportunity and the platform to actually participate in policy making and in governance in Nigeria. So I am proud to be a woman.
Of course.
Dara?
Every woman is a star. That is the first thing they should know about themselves. But the big question is, are we, the women, really, ready to come out and then grab this opportunity and say, okay, this is me really coming out? Because, oftentimes they feel, oh, I cannot do this. So talking about breaking the bias, we should really come out and say, oh yeah, the I can do spirit. This is what I can do. I can go in there. There's a whole lot.
When women participate in governance, a lot of things change. Everything goes in favor of the women and also the child. Policies go in favor of the women.
And also the men.
Of course, yeah.
We are mother figures. Don't
Forgive
forget
us.
that.
Our men.
Our husbands
of
and
course.
brothers.
That's right. So when you empower a woman, it actually empowered a whole nation because they are very how do I call it? They're loving
caretakers.
and they are caretakers.
Hardworking.
But that doesn't mean because you're a caretaker you have to be dedicated to the back. No, that doesn't mean so. So when women are empowered, it gives us, it gives other women the courage to actually say, "Oh, yes, I can. I can do this."
Talking about I can, Becky, when women are actually in politics, there is more sustainable future.
That's right.
Yes. Now you can link it back to a woman, a housewife. Let's start from there. She's a mother. She's a wife.
That's right.
She is everything.
She's multifunctional.
Very, very multifunctional.
Yeah.
She's like the first doctor. She's the first teacher. She is everything in the house. And then so now when there are some families where you have children where they give you a little headache. Mothers don't give up on their children.
That's right. When
they can just come up and say, woman, take care of that your child. You understand?
That's what I was about
now
to say.
they follow up. Their follow-up actions. They get to see what does this child love doing more than this other thing. You understand? And then they give care to this child and understand the whole, like the totality of the child, and know what and how to advise the child. Now bringing it back to politics now. It is not going to be enough that a woman is just occupying a seat. She will make sure that whatever it is going to take her to run the administration successfully. She'll go all the way
That's
out.
right. That's because when you empower one woman, she reaches out to other women.
To others.
She creates a platform where they come together to learn, to be trained for the future. Because you have a lot of potentials in women, but they don't know how to express it. So by the time you have a figure or someone to look up to, and you're saying, okay, so if this person can actually do this, like our beautiful Ngozi. Yeah, every woman will like, I want to be like that. Okay, imagine a child in secondary school writing an essay. I'm like, the favorite person, my heroine that I want to write about right now is going to be Ngozi Tonjuwa. Why? Because of her achievement, her attainment. So that child, that girl child will be dreaming ahead. Like, this is the kind of woman I want to be. I want to be strong. I want to voice out my opinion. I want to be heard. And I want to also help empower other women.
Right.
Now, we're going to take a short break because when we come back, we have somebody, a woman, who has attained a height that is worth emulating. And we're going to let her into the studio and you will have to hear her. Don't go away. Just stay with us.
Welcome back. It's still your program, Empower Her on Spectrum Television. And then we have a very beautiful guest in the studio. But I am going to allow my co-host, Becky, to introduce her. So
Exactly. Yeah, we have a very delectable lady. We have a very beautiful woman. She is very pretty.
Very pretty.
Oh
my God.
Okay, so she is a leading voice in the educational sector, a two-time commissioner in Akwa Ibom State. I'm talking about no other person but Honorable Eunice Thomas. You're welcome to the show.
My God, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very
Welcome
much.
to the beautiful hills of Ibiakodo. And how was your trip down here? How did you feel?
Such an experience.
I know, right?
Listen up. Are you catching cold?
That's how I catch cold.
Oh my.
I'm warm in your company now.
Exactly.
We are proud to have a woman also in governance. Yes, a woman in government and a two-time serving commissioner. That's big. Yeah, that's big because that's like empowering other women. Like the program is Empower Her. So, ma'am, tell us, how did you feel? How was your tenure? How was that to empower other women?
Well, the initial feeling was that of excitement, but that was actually really tempered when I came into the space and realized the not just the level of work that was expected of me, but the need for the job that I had to do. Again, I was determined to hold the door handle for other women. So I stood by that door. You know how it is when you're managing the room with all the guys in it, and then you still have their permission to stand by the door to let other women in. That was the experience I had. Yes, it was It was challenging, but it was not daunting.
Okay.
So I did it by God's grace.
Okay, Marcel, you are actually the founder and currently the consultant of Eunice Thomas Leadership Academy. How have you been able to use your foundation to help other people, especially women?
I am an avid reader.
Okay.
Yes, I was trained in fact, I am trained as a geologist. Then I ventured also into industrial transportation, so I'm an expert. And then I have studied very many things. But I've come to agree with John Maxwell that everything rises and falls on leadership. So I decided that if it is leadership, I'll become an expert. And once you have the right leadership, it will create the environment that will help others grow and flourish. So I decided that, okay, I won't be the only one around knowing this. I will have to mentor younger persons and get other women to understand that even if it is leadership as a parent, once you're able to secure your place as a leader and then help to turn your followers into leaders, help them now become exponential in their leadership venture, then you can succeed, not just to succeed in duplicating leadership but multiplying it. So that's what I've done so far.
So, talking about what you studied, why did you leave that for politics? Is it because you were passionate about it or some kind of thing?
No. Do I really look like a politician? No, I won't say I am. How did I even enter into politics?
You have to think.
It was not intentional,
Okay,
actually.
it was not
Yes, it
intentional,
wasn't.
It was not something you had passion for?
No. No.
I see.
Okay.
I am not a strict politician. I am an activist.
Yeah.
rather,
Okay.
Then I am a welfare officer in politics. I'm just in the game of politics for the people. I'm not in the game of the people for politics. No.
Okay, let's come back home. What is the position of the women in politics? The position of women in politics?
There's actually no room, no seats for anybody, woman or man in power. No.
Okay.
So if you get in there, or if you get by the door and there's no seat, bring a chair in. Yes, because
Bring in
it's most uncomfortable to ask anybody who is comfortably seated to stand for you to sit. Nobody does that.
Okay.
So
From your own perspective, now looking at what just happened, the victory women just had, in the court. Now, what, in your own perspective, do you think is ushering in? Because a lot of women are saying, yeah, inclusive governance, yeah, but do you think women are ready to really step into this?
women have been ready, but they have not been prepared.
Shed more light on that.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
if you come into a room filled with women, just ask who is ready to become the next president of Nigeria. Oh, I tell you, everyone was born ready. But who's been prepared? Because we have opportunities. Don't be deceived. How did the men even get to know that women don't have power? We went asking. Give me power. Just you've explained to everyone that it is what you don't have. You ask for what you don't have. Well, who said you don't have it? And you also do not ask for equal outcomes. Ask for equal opportunities. And where there are no opportunities, how many have you created for yourself? As a woman, which woman would you conveniently and confidently go voting for at this time? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. Politics, if it is the game of power, to usher in power, you have got to be intentionally and actively involved in politics. Politics is relational and at the same time transactional. Women don't like to give people money. Women don't like to spend money.
Can you say some?
Women, I mean a large
what's the
percentage.
Yeah.
80.
Whoa, that's a
The
lot.
kind of money that is being spent in politics. See, women, we have been socialized to be taken care of. So we feel that we should take. People should give us, pamper us, show us joy, give us love. And unfortunately, we are asking the people who have been socialized to care for us, to give to us, to now give us the opportunity to give to them, care for them, and all. They are just looking at us, knowing that ordinarily it is not our regular nature.
Right.
You know, so for the woman who wants to occupy a political seat in Nigeria today, girl, make money and spend it.
So,
Yeah.
you're saying make money, and how much money can a woman actually make to be
To say it's enough.
able to, get into politics, like from the grassroots, and then attain the height that she actually wants to get to?
Do you know that women are very rich?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay. Do you know that women are the biggest entrepreneurs in this country today? Do you also know that they have a lot of money? But we are too risk aware to spend money. We think that the men take, the bigger the risk you take, the bigger the outcome, the bigger the success. The bigger the risk you take, the bigger the failure. You understand? So this is it. If you want to deal big, politics is a big deal. Don't be deceived. It's a game of power. If you want to deal big, then you have to dig big. You have to spend big money to seek big. So women have a lot of money. We spend them buying jewelry, we buy properties. Yes, women spend money looking good and all. Women don't give people money. The men give people money.
All right, Ma. So talking about politics now, there's this popular saying that politics is a very dirty game. All right. So, and then we are also aware that everything was not all beautiful. Would you like to share what were the challenges you faced in the office during your tenure as a commissioner? 2 times commissioner, actually.
To be honest, the challenge of my focus was too occupying. I could not be distracted. I did not see anything. I didn't see anything. I wasn't listening to anybody. I kept listening to myself and looking at, the big picture. Mine was, Eunice, you don't know how long you have. I was appointed.
Yeah.
So I could not say for sure how long I had. I was just like, and it is not these people's business. This man that has given you this job, it is not his business to keep it. You will do your best to keep your job. And then if you're distracted by what people are saying, by what they're doing, then you may not keep this job. And don't forget, you've already planned that by the time you're out of office, you would have had enough women in politics.
Yeah.
So you're not just going to waste any time. Do everything you have to do and do everything quickly.
Ma, sorry, I would like to ask something. Okay, I want to quickly ask, is it true that when women are in power, they become very saucy and manipulative?
See, let me tell you, if you're saucy, you will not last. Men cannot tolerate you. And this is a man's space, whether you want to believe it or not. When you are a woman and you're unfriendly, you're bossy, you're saucy, you're arrogant, the men, they don't even waste time. They will show you the way.
But you get to see that some women, because of the things that they've suffered, maybe abuse, they tend to put up like a wall of defense. They're not actually saucy, but they're just like putting up an upfront, like,
This is
hello,
me.
yeah. So what was your perception about those kind of women? Would you see just on the, okay, we understand that first impression, yeah, yeah, but a woman is not really saucy, like naturally saucy. But because of the things that she has suffered, she can't, she just brings up this attitude. Now, what would you say about that kind of woman?
That's very wrong.
Okay.
Do you know what the men suffer? Is it because they don't come? See, when you stay in your point of weakness, you're weak. If because you have suffered anything, you have put that before you, that is what you have cast yourself as. And that is how people will treat you. That is how they will see you. They will either avoid you or resist you. And with that attitude, you cannot gain much for other women. There is something about a woman. A woman can be flexible and subtle. And with those characters, the women can gain. So women have got to learn not to be timid. You see, humility is a thing of the heart. It is not a physical thing. When somebody says, oh, she's so humble. She's so humble that she's not talking. Okay, she's humble to the point that she's not even smiling. She's so humble, she's not walking. She fears the earth because she's humble. Which one is humility? Humility is just looking at you and knowing that, given the opportunity, I guess this Idara will do better than myself. So why should I take that opportunity? I'll relax. Idara, you can do it better. Can you do it?
Yeah, sure.
That's it. That is humility to my mind. Not, I'm not going to talk so they don't know that I can be tough. And again, you know, that you have to be flexible to the point where when you need to take a decision in the greater interest of the generality of the people, you make that decision and you stand there.
Okay.
You defend it. That does not make you any less a human.
Okay, how can men support women in politics?
Okay, so you lobby the men.
Oh, really? How do you lobby the men?
There's a language to it.
Oh.
You have to learn how to communicate with men. Men are ego driven, whether you like it or you don't like it. The same way you will go to your daddy and say, "Daddy,
I need money."
That is the same way you go to your bobo and say. It's the same way you go to your male colleague and say, "Why are you doing me like this?" Don't say, "Are you doing this because I'm a woman?" That's showing weakness. You see, Dad, you know that you need me. You know that I will do this thing for you. Do this thing for me now. Don't be doing like this. You understand? You cannot say, you don't expect me to go. I mean, you cannot act all tough to men. They will resist you. Men will push you away. They can't take it. They cannot take it. There's no room for hostility when it comes to a game that you're playing with your superior.
Okay.
I'm not saying that the women are inferior. But of course, when somebody has been in the game for long enough, you have to accord the person the due respect of the fact that he has been in that game way too long for you as, you know, a mentee to come and begin to mentor him.
Okay, ma. So, considering, you know, the high price of nomination form, how do you think government can actually help women at the grassroots to like participate fully in politics?
I've already told you that politics is a game of resources. So no government, by my own reasoning, I would not want any government to give me a form for free. If the government will allow me pay school fees as the man in my class, the government will pay salary to me as the pay to the guy, and then the duties of the member representing my constituency are the same for men and the women. Please, let me buy my form.
Okay, do you
And come contest.
do you think the way we're going as a country, because I have been to Ghana, we had a female president in Ghana. Do you think a female woman can be the president of Nigeria the way it is going?
Yes, eventually.
And why do you think women should lead?
You see, leadership is not a gender thing.
Okay.
It is an awareness. A leader does not do everything. Let me tell you what a leader does. A leader sees the way, knows the way, shows the way, goes the way, and influences others to follow him. So it is not for a gender to see the way. When you have a vision, whether you're a man
Or a
or
woman.
you're a woman, vision is vision.
That's exactly the point.
Exactly.
Okay.
Once you can show the way, that means you have direction. Whether you're a woman or a man, if you have direction, people will follow you. Then, when you've shown the way, please can you go the way? You cannot sit down and expect me to do what you have not shown me to do. So there's no leading me as a man or a woman by sitting on your armchair and rocking yourself and expecting me to go do the big job or the hard top. No. You will do it and I will copy you. Now, when you know the way, that's when you can actually go the way. By knowing the way, it means that you have awareness, you have an understanding of my challenges, of your environment, the history, and then the future of the people, the present, everything around us. Then when you now cause me to follow you, it means you have influence on me. And leadership is influence. Once you're able to make me think the way you want me to think and give you the outcomes that you desire, then you can lead me. So does that sound like what a man or only a woman can do? It sounds like
It doesn't have a gender.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it doesn't have a gender. So we take a quick break because if we have to continue, we will not exhaust our questions. So this show continues. Don't go away.
Okay, you're welcome back from that short break. It's still Empower Her, and we are really having a very good time with this beautiful and wonderful, honorable
You guys get me
Eunice Thomas.
giggly.
Honestly, yeah. And all right, ma. So before we went on the break, you said something about being a leader. You know, it is not gender biased. Now, I would love to ask: has there been any time you faced opposition directly? You know, like a man walking up to you to tell you this should have been done differently if a man was actually on the seat. Why did this not happen? Has there been any time like that? You know,
That expression on your face.
So I do not think that there's
Okay.
any man with such temerity.
But you know
Wow.
that some women face this kind of challenge. How can that kind of a woman overcome this kind of a challenge that you're in the office, a male-dominated office, of course, and then someone walks up to you like, I don't just like you. So why did you do this?
No, that person will not date with you.
Okay.
Because you see, who even told you that men don't confront men? You know, misogyny is not just a women's thing. I mean, people hate women. The hatred for women is there, but misanthropy is also there. There's hatred for humans. So men hate men, men hate women,
Women
hate
hate
women,
women.
and women hate men. Now, for someone like me, I will not give you that opportunity because I know again in my head that content follows form. So you present yourself as someone that will take it. You're given that thing. Think about it. A glass cup and a plastic bottle. You can never pour hot water into a plastic bottle to melt it.
Okay.
But you can pour hot water into a teacup. That teacup is as brittle as this water bottle is soft. But that hot water in the teacup holds the tea. And then the person drinking the tea holds it as someone that has value for it. Because that teacup holds value. When you come as a woman with value, the person responsible for keeping that value is the person enjoying what you hold. And that would be other women and the men themselves. So as careless as any human would be with the plastic cup, they cannot be careless with you, even as fragile and brittle as you appear. So all the time you have to understand how to define your form so that people will understand the content that they bring to you.
And so sometimes women feel that they cannot they can't go for more just because of culture. You know, we've always known that sometimes before now, women were, pushed to the other room and also, to the kitchen. You have to be there. So they have so much potentials in there, but they can't come out. So how can we break out of this?
It's been that way, and breaking out has always been a choice. You see,
A choice.
Yes. At a point, we have to have conversations with ourselves. Speak to yourself. Who really am I? What am I doing here at this time? Okay, what more can I be? Once you understand what more you can be, then you start working at being that thing. I tell you, even the men have serious levels of resistance on their part to self-actualization and all of that. But it is your decision, your determination to push the boundaries. Don't forget who you are, where you've been. Women have actually never had things easy because of two things. The men see us as people who should be cared for. And then because we have accepted care for too long, we have now derived a high sense of dependency on the men, believing that a man should give us everything. So generally, women see that men should give them everything. But at the same time, there are women who want to give back to the society, to men, to women, to children, in spite of the culture. Now
Is it
that
because they're
bias.
called caregivers? Sorry to
No,
break you.
no.
Okay.
Okay, let's even remember. Biblically, they will tell you women were not supposed to speak in church. But that's because women could never have caught up with the conversations in church. At that time, you didn't have the sanitary towels, the modern hygiene for your menstrual cycle. So you had to sit on the floor with, rags, sometimes sand, to soak the blood and all of that. And don't forget, there were no contraceptives, there were no all of that. So right after this baby, you're making another one. And after you weaned the baby, you run to church, dedicate that baby, you come back with another pregnancy. Don't also forget that was the time of farming. So you had to make enough children to go into the farms. There were no laborers. You can imagine that they used to import slaves to come and farm. So it was your place to bring these children. So the economy of any marriage at the time was reproduction. Reproduction, that was all marriage was for. Until you got to know that, sex was actually for intimacy and for pleasure. That was the first thing, So no woman was supposed to speak in church because she did not understand. She was never in church regularly, unlike the men that would go there every day. So when you get home, I need to check with you. What was it before this conversation because I couldn't catch up?
And then,
you understand?
yes.
So now, because that had been the practice, and for too long, it became like that was the culture.
Okay.
Now that we have witnessed two revolutions that have now brought men and women into the understanding that, women can go anywhere even when they're menstruating. And that women can decide when to have babies.
Okay.
And for what reason to have babies.
Speaking of that, Ma, okay, I would like to ask, because we expect a woman in this part of the world to be like the caretaker. So you take care of your children, you get pregnant, the 9-month journey and all of that. So do you think at any point this could be a barrier for a woman participating fully in politics at a point where you get to go back home because you can't attend some meetings at night? So you need to be home with your children, or your child is sick. Does it have any negative contribution to a woman's career in politics?
On call, and there are nursing mothers. There are mechanisms that you have to create around parenting. If you're not physically present, what are the tools? What are the skills? What community have you leveraged to stand in for your presence while you are away at work? Politics is not the only thing that men and women do at night. You have the A-line crew members.
Okay.
You have women on call.
That's right.
You have women in the hospital. You have women who have to travel to write exams, to teach other women. You have women in the front lines, and they're doing things for 24 hours, running. Those are not the women who don't make babies. But we sound like it's only in politics that women, work at night.
That's the excuse.
And then how many times do we actually have these night meetings? Don't forget, politics is a seasonal game. This is the season. After now, everybody is into governance.
Okay, ma'am, you had earlier said that a woman, if you as a woman wants to go into politics, you should be humble. That is, if you're this arrogant, you're pushing men aside. Now let's come back. You as a woman, you're supposed to have this confidence. I mean, one of the greatest makeover a woman can actually wear is her confidence. When you're just so confident about yourself, when you tell the world, I can do this, women, I can actually go out there and do this. Now, how do you marry the both? A confident woman and humble. Because we say, I want to be humble, I don't want to talk, I don't want anybody to know me. And then you say, does it mean that someone can be humble and at the same time she is confident? Because some would mistake confidence for pride. So shed more light on that.
They are clearly very different. You see, a confident person has nothing to prove. She's herself. She doesn't want to be a man. She also doesn't want to be seen or heard. Because, if there's an opportunity, if the time comes for her to be heard, she will get up and speak. And then she will say what matters. She will say what counts. She will say it when she has to say it. Any person that is confident will never want to be the corpse at the funeral or the bride at the wedding. She knows when her day is, what she's supposed to be doing. Pay time. But when you're too pushy, when you want to be the signpost, when people will just maybe just avoid you because you're loud, I bet. Your confidence does not also consist in what you wear. Yes, I'm a fancy girl. I like to look nice, but that's not from where I derive my confidence. My confidence is in the fact that when I look at you, I know that you don't know everything in the world. And when I look back at myself, I know that there might be something that you know that I do not know. There's actually maybe something that I know that you do not know. So you cannot in any way be better than I am. Neither can I be better than you are. We are different, but we should be happy. That's it.
Okay, so this is the final question and your final note. So following this victory that women just got from the federal high court to the federal government, the order, do you think that just giving that order is enough for women's inclusion in governance?
It can never be.
Okay, so what are the steps? What other pathways can we create for women to actually come out and be heard? And be given a chance also to...
Especially in politics.
Especially in politics. Why are you so interested? Okay, now...
Our voice counts,
You see, women have got to work. We have had... Do you know how long it took women to wear bra? Even when it was passed in court that women should wear bra. When women wanted to start wearing bra, the men said they could not, that their bodies belonged to them, and that they would view them, that those were the things that excited them. No man should cover her breasts. So the women went to court to enforce the wearing, even when the court passed it into law that, women should wear clothing that hold them well and are comfortable in. The men still did not allow the women. So we went and protested for women to wear bra. It is not enough for anybody to pass a law in favor of the women and the women are excited. Have they implemented this law? So when they say bring the 35%, who will be the women? Are we going to fill the spaces with very, very good women? And how will you know which women are very, very good? And what? Politics? No. Politics is a game that is procedural. So we have to look for the eagles in the midst of our women. Prepare them. For you to do politics, you have to be confident and you have to be vocal. There are women who know so much, yet they say very little. So you have to be vocal, and then you don't have to be arrogant, but you have to be relational. The women also will have to be taught the law of boundaries. You see, the right boundaries will always free you. But when you do not know the boundaries, you either push the boundaries too far or push them too close. So you now shoot yourself in the foot. Time will fail us to talk about all the things that the women will have to do. But let's start by selecting the women who will take the bull by its horn, who will fill those slots, and then train them, refine them, so that when you present them, the men will say, "Give us this one. She has value." Not the one that the men will say, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Then they put us there, they create a crucible for us and we fell there. Then they now hold that one against other women. Don't forget, tokenism will be raised by the women, not the men.
Okay, we can go on and on and on and on and talk. Well, you have to know that as a woman, there are core values you should have. You should try and educate yourself the more. You should try and be an avid reader. Thank you so much, ma'am. We've really drunk from the fountain of your knowledge. We'd like to take your parting shot before we call it a wrap on the program. Your parting shot.
First of all, women, if you're joining us, if you've joined us, okay, and whenever you come on to watch us, I'd like to congratulate you on the passage of that bill.
That's right.
That's one step. And I'd like to encourage you to please put yourself together. If you've missed it, make sure that your daughter or the girl around you can be positioned to take that slot. Because the world is waiting for you, actually. And then better is coming to you. So please be ready. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
ma'am.
so much. So we take a quick break, and when we return, it's a wrap. Don't go anywhere. You're welcome back to the show. It's still EmpowHer, and I hope you enjoyed that conversation we had with our delectable guest, Honorable Eunice Thomas. So right now, we are going to introduce to you the woman of the week. Now, in person of Miss Lydia Okoje. Now, she has gone ahead to empower other women by lending a helping hand
Exactly.
to them. That's beautiful.
Yes, and she's also encouraged a lot of women to, discover themselves by helping them out. It is, someone can say that it's very little amount of money she's lending to those women, but then paying for someone's WAEC, paying for someone's jam, that is you starting a future for someone else, and that's a lot of empowerment. I admire her so greatly. She's doing an awesome job, Lydia.
Awesome, wonderful Lydia Okoje, who is currently Miss EmpowHer. I mean, someone that has carved a niche for herself, and not just for herself, but for the young women out there, for the young girls who are out there. I mean, she's really